The statistics on how often kids use screens are almost frightening. According to the CDC, in America, when it comes to screen time for kids, kids age 8 to 10 average 6 hours of screen time per day. Ages 11 to 14, 9 hours a day. Ages 15 to 18, 7.5 hours per day. And at age 6 months old, children are exposed to an average of 1 hour and 16 minutes of screen time every day, with some 6 months old spending over 3 hours a day. Of course, we know the effects of screens or any technology addiction on children are not good. For example, children who watch too much television carry a higher risk of obesity, are more likely to display aggressive behavior. This shouldn't surprise us. Children naturally copy what they see. For example, for a chilling experiment, allow your son to watch professional wrestling and see how long it takes before he wants to tackle his brother. Children who watch too much television are more likely to engage in risky behaviors when they get older. They have less energy. They have a harder time in school and are more exposed to commercials, advertisements, and straight up propaganda. Most people would agree that our culture spends too much time on their screens, but few people are able to curb their habit and reclaim their life, and even fewer know how to help their children navigate the media-drenched world that we live in. So to help, in this video, I want to offer 12 tips to help limit screen time for your kids. Each of these are tried and true methods used in our home and in others. Number 1, set the example. Sorry to start with the toughest one, but there's nowhere else to start. Children will always gravitate toward the modeled behaviors of their parents. If they see you reading a book, they're more likely to read. And if they see you watching television, so will they. Number 2, be the parent. It is your job to encourage healthy behaviors and limit unhealthy ones. Sometimes this means making unpopular decisions like limiting your children's screen time. Protect your child by making these tough decisions for them. And always go the next step of explaining why you made the decision. This will help them follow through and someday choose it for themselves. Number 3, you can set limited viewing times. If you're not going to turn off the television completely, choose the appropriate television viewing windows for your kids. It's much easier to limit their viewing habit if they understand that they can only watch one show in the morning and one show after school, as just an example. Number 4, encourage other activities. And then provide the necessary resources like books to read, board games to play, art supplies for creativity, or sporting equipment that they can play with. In other words, find activities that make them forget to check their phone. Number 5, play with your kids. Get down on the floor with your kids and pick up a doll, truck, or a ball. It takes intentionality and selfless love when they are 6. But when they're 13, you'll be glad you did. Tip number 6, be involved in their lives. For many parents, and I've been there myself, it's just easier to turn on the television than it is to actually take the time to get involved in the lives of their children. But those intimate life details are required for successful parenting. So observe, listen, ask, play, and parent. A 7th tip is to cancel your streaming service or remove your television completely. If you want a surefire way to limit your child's viewing habits, cut the streaming service or remove your television completely from your home. It will change your family's life overnight. It changed ours. And by the way, it will positively impact your checking account as well. Number 8, observe your child's behavioral changes. Screens have an immediate impact on your child's behavior. After too much television or video games or scrolling on phones, my children get irritable, aggressive, selfish, impatient. As a matter of fact, when my kids were young, I could tell almost the moment I walked in the door if they had been watching television all day long. So be on the lookout for those behavioral changes that happen with your kids. When you start to notice them yourself, you'll be less inclined to put them in front of a screen. Number 9, don't worry if they miss out on parts of the conversation. Now, here's what I mean by that. Your child's friend will talk about television and social media. They'll compare notes about cartoons, shows, the newest apps, the newest trends. You will think that you are depriving your child of friendship because they cannot join in on those parts of the conversation. Again, I'm speaking from experience here. But don't worry, you will have successfully prepared your child to enter into far deeper, richer conversations than the most recent Stranger Things episode. Number 10, value family meals and car rides. About 2/3 of young people say the TV is on in their homes during meals. That's too bad, because your family's richest conversations will always take place during meals and in the car. So value those times with your kids. Don't let the phone or the television steal those moments from you. Tip number 11, no televisions in bedrooms. Not in your kids' rooms and not in yours either. Number 12, find your mantra. A mantra is a sound, word, or group of words that are considered capable of creating transformation. While the words may not be magic in themselves, the consistent use of them can be. So every parent should have them and use them effectively. My too much television mantra goes like this: there's been too much screen time in this family. And every time my kids would hear me say it, they knew exactly what it meant. They knew that we were going to turn off the screens and spend some quality time together. So you find your phrasing and then use it often. Limiting your child's screen time may seem like an impossible chore, or it may seem like a battle that is too difficult to fight, but it is absolutely worth fighting. Implementing just a few steps right away will help you implement the others. Because screen time is a momentum gathering behavior, the more you do it, the more compelled you are to continue. Advertisements have that effect on us. But the opposite is also true. The more you turn it off, the easier it becomes to keep it off and limit the screen time for yourself and your kids. You've just got to start somewhere.